This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Some matches are temporary, but your privacy shouldn't be. With Line 2, you get a second phone line just for dating. No need to share your personal number until you're ready. You can chat, text, and even block numbers, all while keeping things fun and private. It's perfect for online dating, blind dates, or just keeping things light. When you're ready to move on, Line 2 lets you cut ties without any drama. Dating should be fun and carefree. Line 2 keeps it that way. Ready to date on your terms? Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store today.
So you only had 2 Pop-Tarts all day. You're starving.
Yep.
I got an extra bag of chips.
No, enjoy your lunch. I'll be fine.
I got 2 of them.
Oh, you got 2 of them? Okay.
Well, what happened was, here's what happened. So I go to the vending machine, get Lay's potato chips, right? You can't eat just one, right?
Of course.
So it gets caught. You know how sometimes they don't drop?
Yep.
So I go, okay. And I take a deep breath, no big deal. So I put the credit card thing up there again and press potato chips because the second one is going to push the first one down, and usually the second.
Sure.
Second one, it just pushes number 2 of the first one up in the air. Now they're both just hanging there. So I start doing pretending I'm pass blocking or run blocking. I'm banging into the vending machine, right? For it's almost. I mean, I look small and wiry, but I'm strong.
Yeah.
I got that thing almost coming up on 2 legs. It won't come down. So Dylan from KDWB/Cities97 comes by, and I go, I can't believe this. He goes up to the side of it and hits his hip from the side, and they both just drop down like that. So I have 2.
Sounds like he has some experience.
Yeah. So so I have 2. So you can have, because I feel bad because normally I like to tell the audience what I'm having for lunch, and I feel like I'm rubbing it in.
Oh no, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I just got to make it to 3:00. We got 1 more hour. I'll be good.
All right, so because here was what I got. My wife made homemade barbecue chicken.
Okay.
Putting that on a pretzel roll. You ever have a pretzel bun?
I love pretzel buns.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it on that. Then coleslaw, and I put that right on top. Yep. Then, I forgot. You know what else she found? There's this new company. Hold on. Well, I don't even know if it's a new company. But it's a product where it looks like a potato chip bag, but it's got sliced pickles in it, but in less brine so that they're not soggy.
Okay.
And they're spectacular. So
nice.
So barbecue chicken on the pretzel bun.
Yep.
Coleslaw on top of that, and then pickle on top of that.
And that's the pro move. I mean, that's how you do it.
You'd eat that, wouldn't you?
Oh, 1,000%. I'd eat anything right now.
10 says it would be yucky. He would never, especially the pickles. Pickles and coleslaw wouldn't do it for me.
Speaking of Tenna, I've been meaning to ask you, is he still, I'm not as familiar with the Common program as I once was, but is he still the interim producer? No, he's now bridge producer. Oh, he's the bridge producer.
Well, we just changed it because it sounds better. It's not as demoralizing.
Right.
Interim sounds like now it's just bridge.
Okay.
Sort of like Sam Darnold was a bridge. But he's not full-time, so you're in the running.
I was going to say, can I email you my resume and we can
Well, let me just say this. You're doing a really good job. You've done nothing to deter me from taking you into consideration.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think you were on to something earlier because I'm pretty sure Abbott sabotaged me with how he set up this log.
Yeah.
Because the music isn't in the right places. It's a mess. So I think I got it down for this last hour, but we'll see how it goes.
What I like is that you're not afraid to throw Abbott under the bus.
Oh, no, not at all.
Do you have the open for 534? Do you know all about it? Go ahead, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
All right, Common. So, as we all know, the Wild did get eliminated last night from the Stanley Cup playoff. 3-2 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Ryan Hartman scored the only 2 goals. Gus saves 20 out of 23 shots, but still not enough. So again, early loss, I think earlier than a lot of us expected. But Common, what are the biggest things that need to change for the Wild to take the next step going forward?
I think we're close. I just think we need a new first line, a new second line, 3 new defensemen, a couple of goaltenders, an assistant coach, and a couple of head coach. No, I think Chip summed it up. Chip Scoggins, Fish Wrap Westside, was with us. Number one, and Tenneby's been saying, anybody that follows the club, you got to sign Kaprizov.
Yep.
He's one of the best players in the league. He's your star. Sign him. You have money now because Suter and Parisi, that onerous, is that the right word? Onerous deal is now out from under us. And so you've got some money. You need I guess you need another scorer. That's what everybody tells me. I mean, you got to have more than, Kaprizov, there's other guys that can put the puck in the net, but you got to go out and you got to spend a little money. And I think their goaltending is good. I think Gus is good as far as I can see. And I played goaltender. I was a great boot hockey goaltender. That's it. But then, it all comes down to, do they sign the right guy? Did they get the right guy? Do guys want to come here? I don't see why you wouldn't stay to hockey.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I think the future is bright, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'm not a big hockey mind, so I'm going to defer to the experts that have been here today. I mean, I wish you could have heard Brett earlier. He was beyond fired up.
Really?
He has a ton of, he was getting into arguments with the Rubes on the text line, all kinds of stuff. So he's
got all the answers, in other words.
He has all the answers. And he anytime a Rube would text in something, he was like, no, we did that 10 years ago. I think Brett's having a rough day.
Well, because he's a huge Wild guy, and he's bitter about it.
Yep.
I've tried to teach people, and I get emails from people occasionally, more than most people would know. And people say, Common, I can't thank you enough for changing my approach to sports. I was one of those guys. Your favorite team loses. It's like you lost your best friend.
Yep.
People get bitter and sullen, withdrawn, and angry and sad. It's just I roll with the punches. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, what you have to do is you have to start to enjoy the losing. Hard to do, but once you start enjoying losing as much as you enjoy winning, you'll never have to worry about being depressed about a sports team again.
Question number 2.
All right. So the Twins dropped 3 out of 4 in Cleveland, including a rain delay loss in 10 yesterday. I lost 3-4 to the Guardians, actually. So the Twins are going to enter the month of May with a 13-19 record. Common, how do you feel about the Twins heading into May, specifically heading into this weekend, going to Fenway?
I don't feel very good about the club right now. It was at this time last year they made that turnaround. After they played, they had identical records from last year to this year as they went into a series with the White Sox and a series with the Angels. It's exact. I mean, it was like a carbon copy. And last year they swept both those teams and then went on. I think Bonus mentioned they won like 12 in a row, and then they took over first place. They looked like one of the better teams in baseball. And then they collapsed late in the year. This year, same thing, same record. They don't do a sweep, but they win 5 of 6. But then they play Cleveland and lose 3 of 4. And I tried to warn people. Anytime that, and I asked Bonus about this. You've got Julian and Lee and Miranda and Larnach, all these players that, were told by the organization, and then those that follow the organization, some bright new stars in the pipeline. These are going to be the foundation of the team for the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying they don't believe it, but then what happens? Baseball's a tough game. And so all of those people I just mentioned have had their moments, but they've been few and far between. And so I don't know. It seems like they have some quality players. We know Buxton can play when he's healthy. We know Correa can play when he's healthy. And we saw Royce Lewis get off to a terrific start in his career. If those guys can do the things that they've done before and do them a bit more consistently and repeat it a little bit, they should. I've teased Lavelle ever since his column where he said they will swing the sticks. and I've texted back and forth. We text and talk more than most people know. He seems lonely sometimes. And he continues to think they will swing the sticks, and I think they will. Early October, when the season's over, they'll be playing a lot of golf. Hey-o! Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was waiting for that.
There we go.
Yeah. Their pitching staff is good. They should be better based on paper, but they're not. But I don't know if anybody runs away with the division. So I think come September, they'll all four of those. I think Tigers, Royals, Guardians, and the Twins will be good. But I don't have a ton of optimism going into May. That's for sure.
Question number 3.
Alluded to this a little bit, but we had breaking news a few hours ago. Greg Popovich is stepping down as head coach of the San Antonio Spurs and will transition to team president of basketball operations. Sources told ESPN earlier today. Pop will step away as the winningest head coach of all time, 1,422 wins. That includes 5 NBA championships and 3 Coach of the Year honors. Common, what's your reaction to the Pop news?
Best of times, worst of times, we're going to miss him. A hell of a career. I never know how much it's the coach or how much it's the players you have. Like Phil Jackson, considered one of the great. Well, he's the best timeout taker of all time. You know that. But a lot of people will put him at the very top, right?
Common, do me a favor. Say that one more time. That joke about Phil. Give it to me one more time.
Which one? The
timeout.
Oh, yeah. Phil Jackson, the greatest timeout taker of all time.
All right, there we go. I'll be faster.
No, it's okay. It really was. That was actually a callback to somebody nationally once said that 5-10 years ago. We just never let it go. We just beat it into the ground. I've got a lot of Dark Star memorials today too.
Well, I think you're kind of on to.
Well, no, here's what I was going to say. What I was going to say is was Phil Jackson that great of a coach, or just kind of coincidence that he had Michael Jordan in his first stint, right? Didn't he? Yeah. Didn't he coach the Jordan teams?
He did.
And then when he was in L.A., who did he have?
He had Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
So in other words, and I'm not saying that Phil wasn't a good coach, but was he really as good as people? I could be a pretty good coach of us coaching those guys. And who did Pop have working for him?
That would be Tim Duncan.
He had Timmy Duncan, who I call the Admiral.
There was, let's see, Tim Duncan. Oh, why am I blanking on their names? There was Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, David Robinson, I think, for 1 year, the first year they won the championship.
And then who's isn't there one other one? Who's the latest? He's now playing somewhere else.
Well, there was Kawhi Leonard, I think, was on.
Kawhi, yeah.
Kawhi Leonard was on one of their championship teams. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. All that being said, though, 1,400 wins is still a lot. 1,422 wins. So, some of that has, I mean, and the Spurs really started the current trend in the NBA of resting the starters, doing load management and all that. That originated from the Spurs. So
we have Pop to thank for that.
Right.
Thanks a lot, Pop.
I mean, imagine how many more wins he could have had if they actually played their starters all the time. But
he's selfless, that Pop.
Yeah. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right. Give me 1 second.
You're doing a good job.
Appreciate that.
Pretty happy with how you're performing.
Question number 3.
You're doing a better job than the host. It's frightening.
How's your sandwich, by the way?
It's sloppy, but it's really good.
All right. Here, I'm going to launch it again.
Question number 3.
I'm gonna let you choose, Common. Do you want to do Vikings or do you want to do general sports for this weekend?
What sports for the weekend?
Just to look at, okay, so we'll go with that one. So looking around the world of sports this weekend, we have the Clippers and Nuggets Game 7 tomorrow night. In the NBA, Clippers and Nuggets Game 7 tomorrow night. Cavs and Pacers actually Game 1 on Sunday. In the NHL, you have the Stars and Avalanche, Game 7, and then you also have the Jets and the Blues, Game 6, and then Game 7 if necessary. Tomorrow, the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs, and then I wrote it down, but I'm really skeptical. For PGA, the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we should have done Vikings.
Question to you, Common. What are you going to be locked into this weekend?
I'm going to be golfing up at the Pines this afternoon at 6:30 this evening. And then I'm going to try to play again tomorrow morning. I'll probably watch Run for the Roses. You know what the beauty of the Kentucky Derby is?
What's that?
They have a pregame that's as long as they do for the Super Bowl or the big game, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But you only have to be there for 2 minutes.
That's true.
So it's one of those things where I think post time is at like 5. I don't know what it is, but they'll post the post time like 5:25 or 5:30. Mm-hmm. So let's say it's 5:25. You tune in at about 5:20 and you get to watch each of the horses go into the gate. And you watch them each go in, you take a look at them, see which one's sweating profusely, which one's drooling from its mouth, and kind of pick the horse that you think looks the best. Boom, the bell. Once they get that last horse's butt in there, boom, they hit, they go, it's 2 minutes, and down the stretch they come. He's loose. And then it's over. And then you see the winner, and that's it. It's I kind of just came up for a name for it. The greatest spectacle in sports. That's what I'm going to call it. The greatest spectacle in sports. So I'll be watching me some Kentucky Derby, the run for the Black-Eyed Susans.
Yeah, it's turned into a lot more of like a red carpet thing where now all the celebrities are there and it's like, oh, what are they wearing and all that. So, yeah, I think you're right. That pregame is like that pre-race is like 5 hours long for a 2-minute race.
Yeah, I'm out on all that. I haven't watched any big game hype either for 25 years. Does nothing for me.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Now I'll start playing the bumper music.
Yep.
There. So then I can go, hey, it was well done. Great 5, 3, 4. Other side of the break, we're going to do, have you been coached up on Dark Star Memorial Hour?
I mean, I know the bit, but not from
okay.
Side, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you during the break. We'll take a break. We'll come back. A Dark Star Memorial Hour, and then our favorite segment of the week, 2:30 until 3. It's the Victory Formation segment. But in it, we're actually going to do something. I picked the last 19 Nostra-Common. It's my alter ego. Nostra-Common has predicted that 19 of the last 20 Kentucky Derby winners will do it again during the Victory Formation segment. All coming up here on The Fan.
Want to keep your personal number private but still stay connected? With Line 2, you can get a second phone line right on your device with a super simple app and no need for another phone. Whether it's for online shopping, dating, or shielding your main number from spam, Line 2 is an easy way to manage it all. Ready for peace of mind without breaking the bank? Call, text, block, and more for only $9.99. Get started with line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in any app store today. Line 2, your second line simplified.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our National Cash Contest. Enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That's keyword money enter now at KFAN.com.
If Dark Star were here right now and he passed away back in 2012, he would say, I really wasn't listening. I was just waiting for my turn to talk. 2 nuns and a goat get off a bus in Cleveland. I have several Dark Star memorials for you, including this first one, and I actually had the pleasure of knowing Ron Sanders. I call him Phoenician Guy. And his son writes, Common, I'd like to pass on the word that my father, Ron Sanders, a.k.a. Phoenician Ranger Guy, passed away Friday, April 18th at the age of 82. He died peacefully in his sleep after a brief stay in the hospital after a recent fall. He leaves behind his beautiful wife of 60 years and 2 sons, Bruce and Doug. Ron was an avid golfer and one heck of a fisherman. His favorite was those muskies. Crazy to his kids was that a good day was 2 follows 1 on. In 1989, he bagged the largest muskie caught in the state that year at 51.5 inches, coming in at over 30 pounds, and was a Berkeley tri-lean line record as well. Muskies that big were not common in those days, as Muskies Inc. was just getting the catch and release word out that you could keep them at 30 inches. Among his many accomplishments, he was most proud of the fact that he was able to put the cork in the bottle 51 years ago, often stating, Sarah and I don't get to live the life we lived if I hadn't stopped my drinking. I was honored to be there the night he was presented with his 50-year medallion and talking to all the people that were just starting their journey into sobriety and having them tell me how inspired they were by his life story and how grateful they were that he was there that night. Ron was a pioneer in the wireless industry in the early 80s, even completing the first cellular phone call west of the Mississippi. In 1987, Ron created the Vector One Classic, which would be the building blocks for the PGA Senior Tour event in the Twin Cities, which is now the 3M Championship. His exhibition event was held at Rolling Green Country Club, now Medina, with pros like Doug Sanders, who his son is named after, Miller Barber, Chai Rodriguez, it's an old WKRP in Cincinnati bit, and Lee Trevino to come to Minnesota for a 2-day event. In 89, Ron and Sarah took an opportunity and moved to Budapest for a joint venture between U.S. West Cellular and the Hungarian government to create the first cellular phone system in Eastern Europe, leaving his then 22-year-old and 19-year-old sons to take care of the house in New Hope. Oh, if those walls could talk. Upon returning to New Hope in 91, Ron went to work at Sprint PCS as one of 5 region presidents, and he and Sarah moved to Lake Minnetonka, where they lived until he retired in 2000. Funny, now the kids were out of the house. Isn't that funny? In retirement, Ron couldn't sit still. He worked for the Harlem Globetrotters, chaired the Frank Schneider Muskies Inc. International Tournament, which had over 1,000 fishermen on 30 different lakes. Ron traveled with Treadway Racing on the Indy car circuit on and off for 7 years, always with Sarah by his side. Later, Ron earned the nickname Ranger Raj at Blackberry Ridge and Sartell, as well as the Phoenician and Talking Stick in Scottsdale. 2017, at age 75, after being recognized for being an early founder of the PGA Tour event in the Twin Cities, he decided Central Minnesota needed a Corn Ferry event. He started a quest to find a venue and sponsors thanks to relationships with Craigan's, Cuyuna Regional Medical Center, and Donlinger Chevrolet. The PGA Tour awarded him the first Canadian Tour event to play in the United States. Today, that event is called the CMRC Championship and is recognized as one of the favorite stops in the PGA Tour America circuit and will be played at Craigan's again this year in August. Please have Dark show him the ropes up there. Thanks, signed 1314 Greens and family. Thanks, Doug Sanders. And I had an opportunity, I said, to know Ron, and he hosted me down at the Phoenician, and it was a wonderful host, and his wife Sarah was there as well. It was terrific. Next up, it says, Common and my family moved to the town of Zimmerman around 2010, and shortly after, we were blessed with 2 retirees that hailed from Starbuck, Minnesota. The pair had been married over 60 years. Soon after they moved in, we found ourselves spending hours upon hours hanging out together. They truly turned into our family. They called us kids, the kids next door, and they were a welcome set of bonus grandparents to my wife and I and our kids. Harlan, or as most people knew him as Huck, was a Navy man, and he married his bride, Ann, out of high school. Our kids would be over at the house and wouldn't leave until Huck would give in and break out his Navy pictures from when he served on a tanker ship during the Korean War. If he wasn't telling the kids stories, you'd see him driving all over the neighborhood with the kids in his golf cart. In his 80s, he still had enough energy, vim, vigor, and determination to help me cut down and chop up trees to clean up our backyards. While my family moved away about 5 years ago, we would still text and talk with Huck and Ann more than most people know. My family was blessed to be able to see him one final time before his ship set sail the morning of April 30th. Let Dark know that Huck's ship would be arriving anytime. He's about 5'8" with a full head of hair. He'd love to sit back with Dark and chat about JJ's turning this team around to becoming world champs. I'm sure he'd even throw a shot or two at the Polat Pocket Protectors and how they run his favorite baseball team. Dark is sure to have a true friend in Huck, just like he was to all of us back home. Next is from Dave. Dave writes, Common asked Dark to look out for my dad, who passed away on Sunday at 94 years old. As he got older, he didn't follow sports as closely as he once did, but I'm sure he would enjoy a nice chat with Dark about the golden age of Twin Cities radio. And that's CCO, not Common. Family meant everything to him. He and my mom raised 12 kids and 4 nieces and nephews. He loved family gatherings, whether it was a small group of visitors or a full-on chaotic family holiday. And whenever anyone wished him a happy birthday, he always replied, any birthday I get to spend with your mother is a happy one. He was very worried about leaving Mom, so maybe Dar could offer a pat on the back and some assurance that the love of his life and wife of 73 years is going to be okay and will be joining him soon enough. Thank you very much. Signed, Dave. And then finally, Bruno No Bandy. They lost their family member of 9+ last month. The great in Great Dane holds so many meanings. Far too many to list, but here are a few. The obvious, they're great big. Easy to see with the eye, but the great big heart they have inside often goes overlooked unless you have loved one. Great big bills. Those food and vet bills can be just that. He was worth every single penny and then some. Great big messes. Few could rival Bruno's ability to slobber. We will even miss this part. And the last one I will mention here, which is unfortunately where our family is right now, the great big hole they leave when they pass on far, far too soon. And none are greater than the 1 hour Bruno left behind. He was only complete, truly happy and fulfilled when we were together as a family. While we can't imagine this pain ever getting better, we are truly grateful for every moment we shared. He will be forever missed. Rest in peace to the greatest of the Great Dane, Bruno. And there you go. There are Dark Star memorials for today. Go ahead and hit the music. Go ahead and start the bumper. There. Those are our Dark Star memorials for this Friday. Let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We call it the Victory Formation segment. Last one of the week. We've had another winning week. We'll talk a little Distat-Lat, and we will do Nostra-Common toward the very end of it. I will predict your Kentucky Derby winner for the 20th of the last 21st Kentucky Derbies. All that coming up next year on the Common Man program on the Fan.
You know that feeling when you're about to score 30% off, but they want your number? Ugh. Give them your Line 2 number instead. It's a second line on your phone, perfect for nabbing promo codes without inviting spam to your party. Sign up for every discount under the sun, then block the junk texts that follow. You get all the perks, but none of the spammy baggage. More codes, less chaos. Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store and get your shopping sidekick today. Because the only thing blowing up your phone should be good deals.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common. Sam Bird had a bird's eye view of the Fan today.
Yeah, thanks for the chips, by the way.
Oh, where they go? You couldn't just eat one, right?
No,
they're
I went through the whole bag. Yeah.
Are you already done?
Oh yeah.
Because if you have to choose some more, you just give me the sign that you need, and then I just talk while you.
I'm
okay.
Good. A life hack for you, Common. If you didn't know this, the next time you open a bag of chips, open them upside down. So see how mine's open upside down?
Why would that be?
Because all the flavor and the dust and everything settles to the bottom. So if you open it upside down, you get those chips first, and then it kind of settles back down again as you're working towards the bottom of the bag, which in this case would be the top of the bag.
That's what they teach you at Wurstburn, huh? That's it?
Oh, man, that's all I got.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you call that a life hack?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a life hack.
I got one for you.
What's that?
Next time you eat a banana, peel it from the bottom end instead of the stem.
Yeah.
Do you do that already? If you try to take a banana and
No, I open it from the top. Yeah, just peel the top.
Yeah, the stem. If you do the stem part, it doesn't come off and it bends and it mushes it. You turn it upside down and peel it from the bottom. Did you know that already?
No, I didn't know
I just gave you a life hack. So the next time you eat a banana, you do it that way. I'll do a bag of potato chips the same way. As a matter of fact, I'll eat a bag of potato chips and have a banana at the same time.
Huh?
You like the
I always wanted to play that one, by the way.
Oh.
Huh?
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I also like this one. We just added this one. With the first pick in the interim producer draft, Common Man takes Sam Bird, Washburn High School.
I'll take that. Do I get to walk down the hallway here put on the hat and come out and then Abbott's waiting there for me? We should.
It's not that extravagant, but that's a good idea. How old are you?
Why did my gray hair give me away?
Yeah, I did a little bit, yeah. No, I'm just wondering, and again, if I ask you any personal questions you don't want to answer, just say I'm not comfortable answering.
No, I'm good. I'm 36.
36.
Yeah.
36.
I know.
Married?
No.
Kids?
No.
Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have, my sister lives here, my sister, her husband, and then they have 4 kids, so I'm the cool uncle.
You're the cool uncle.
I'm the cool uncle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was that uncle that got to, with my brother's 3 boys, Rob, Chip, and Ernie. And I used to be the crazy uncle, the goofy uncle. I would go do things with them. We'd go down to like the railroad tracks. They grew up in Coon Rapids, just like I did, tough guy town. We'd go down to the railroad tracks and you collect railroad spikes. You don't pull them out of the tracks. They're just laying there because when they're replaced, I guess the guys that lay the track, they just toss them to the side so we would collect but that's what I did when I was a kid. I don't know why, we just thought it was cool to have railroad spikes. Then what you do is you pound them into trees and then you can climb up into trees into your tree fort.
See, there's a life hack.
That's a life hack. Yeah. So I would take them to down to the railroad tracks and we'd collect railroad spikes. Then how do you think Uncle Al and Ma felt when all of a sudden I got these kids? They've got 40 railroad spikes, and what are they going to do with them? They're just going to sit around in the garage. And then the beautiful is, you get them all wired up, and then you just leave. Though you don't have to do all the parenting.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Isn't that the best part?
That's the best part.
You don't have to go home with them. So you're working here at this state, and you're at the Crackpot Conservative Station too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I do that. I work with John Justice in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
God, that's early to get up.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
What time do you have to get up?
Well, I'm up at 4 now. Yep. And then I'm here I get here around 5:30-ish. I think that's the latest I can push it without, without missing stuff for the show open.
How much show prep do you have to do for that? Do you have to do anything, or does he does it all, right?
He does it all. And John's fantastic with the show prep. He has a sheet ready to go. He has all of his topics laid out.
Hold on.
Huh?
Right. Show prep? Like a list of topics?
Yep. I'll tell you. So I asked Brett about that. That was before I texted you earlier. I was like, does he do a show list? And Brett laughed. I mean, I've never heard a person laugh that hard before. He thought it was the best thing ever. So I was like, all right, well. And then I texted you, and then I saw that you read it, but no reply. And I said, he was like, did Common get back to you? And I said, well, I can see you read it. And then he's like, yeah, that sounds about right for Common. So.
And then I did call you, though.
You did. You called me, yeah.
And then you didn't answer. And I thought, right away, I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad. I kind of like it you didn't answer. But then I thought, well, he might have wanted it. And then you called me back right away.
Yeah. Actually, it was one of those things where I thought I heard my phone ringing, but I didn't catch it until the very end. So then when I picked it up and looked at it, it said call ended. So I was able to get you back right away.
Well, I'm glad you called back because it's been a wonderful time. It really is. You've done a heck of a job.
Yeah, thank you. This has been great.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I do get up early, though, too, but mine's to go play golf. See, it depends upon... I can get up and bounce right out of bed, depending upon... If it's to go to work, no. But if it's to go play golf, I'm all excited. I suppose that's like most people, right?
Right.
It's like... do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I mean, well... As lame as this sounds, this is my hobby because I still have my full-time job.
Okay.
So I get to come in and do radio and do broadcast, and this is what I'm passionate about. I don't know, Common, if I showed you this, my tattoo, my broadcast console tattoo on my arm.
Wait, hold on. Let me get I can't see through it.
Yeah. I know this glass is weird, but I have this old Pacific recording broadcast console on my forearm. So I'm pretty sure that's how I got this job, by the way, because when I showed it to Abbott, he was walking me around, introducing me to everybody.
And showing the tattoo.
Yeah, and he was like, show him the tattoo. And so I was like, all right. So then I show Hawk. And
well, I'm not a tattoo guy, but now I'm intrigued. I think I would get a Neumann BCM 104 microphone tattooed on my forearm. It's the best microphone for radio broadcast that I've ever had. We used to have one in here, but we burned out 3 of them by putting Lysol wipes on it.
Oh, yeah.
Dripped into it. So now we just got this. Electrolux NE73 or something, but it serves a purpose.
I realize I'm the only person that brings in my own headphones too. Everybody just shares headphones. Oh, you have your own too?
I have my own too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where everybody's. I don't know where PA's hair has been. I mean, think about that.
Yep.
No, I have my own headset.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, back in the olden days when I was working small market radio, you had to have, this radio station didn't supply them for you. You know what we called them then? I don't know if you know. Do you know what the old school? Maybe it's still new school too. You know what we used to call headsets?
What?
Cans.
No,
you've never heard that one?
Never heard that one before.
And because I guess it was like 2 tin cans on your head. That's just what they called it back when I first got in the radio business. So, hey, do you got your set of cans? And I'm like, well, huh? Yeah. Headsets. So I have my own as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to use somebody else's.
I can see why that's not used so much anymore. I think people kind of turn.
Why is that politically incorrect or something?
Not politically incorrect, but just might offend somebody if you say, "Oh yeah, I like your cans you got there."
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. I like the way you think.
So then here I am holding my Audio Technica headphones. Somebody might take that the wrong way.
I always love that one.
Common, you should have a gadfly tattooed on your arm.
That would be a good one. I could see that for you.
Yeah, I could do a gadfly. I did a logo contest for the Common Man program one time, and I had hundreds. You're supposed to say hundreds.
Oh, sorry.
So let's do it again.
Yep.
Here, hold on.
Yep.
Just a second. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. I did a logo contest one time, and I had hundreds of people send in logos, and one of them was my head on the body of a fly. It used to be for the longest time, you have that, what's the thing, what's the name of the place? What's the thing you put on your Twitter? You have your little picture. Is there a name for that?
Your avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah.
My avatar used to be the gadfly. There was another one where the guy had a microphone, one of the old school ones.
Sure.
And then it had glasses on it and one of my berets. It was actually spooky. And then I never selected one. And then I tried to do it again. And everybody said, well, I already sent you one before and you never used it. I should start that up again. But then what I want to do is, I'd pay somebody for the rights to buy it, but I don't want to give, I'm not going to give them, hundreds of dollars, a couple 13, 14. This person texts with your cans joke. Is this guy trying to get on the Power Trip morning show? Always. Do you like reliving 8th grade every morning? If you do, listen to the Power Trip morning show. That's what they do. They relive.
Yeah, I'm busy though. I can't even if I wanted to. I'm doing another show.
Here's another text that came in. It says, Sam review part 1.
Uh-oh. Part 1.
Things started out great as Sam had trouble sending to the first break, instead delighting the audience with a series of liners, button bar sounds, and silence. But since that time, he's been spot on. It's almost like he's listened to the Grum before and prepared for the job. But I have some advice for him. But then he hasn't sent anything yet.
I wonder if that's going to be part 2.
Part 2. He's almost been too good. The Commonwealth loves incompetency in its fill-in producers. You need some kind of a weakness shtick, whether it's being dumb like Sauce, sounding half asleep like Zach, being a Packer fan with terrible takes like Brett. I would try and harness some of that terrible first break energy. That was comedy gold. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. And I think, the listeners, though, this is the first time they're hearing me on KFAN. So I'll tell you right now, this is very much my tired voice.
This is it?
This is it, man. I'm coming up on 11 hours already. So
Well, you're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Without further ado, can you play the open?
Yes, I can. Oh, is this the right one, by the way? It says it's 1 minute and 48 seconds.
Oh, yeah. It's the longest open in the history of radio.
I'm going to go get some coffee.
You do that. You get coffee and go get another bag of chips. I'll buy.
He is the all-seeing, the all-knowing. He predicted the Twins would win the World Series in 1991.
He predicted in spring training that Torrey Hunter would leave as a free agent. We also remember numerous other predictions. The Brad Radke home runs.
I'll take Gloss with a 2-run shot. I say by 6:21, Radke gives up a homer.
Pitch on the way, Rock deep center field, heading for the Windows Restaurant. It's off, and there she goes, off Windows Restaurant. A mammoth 2-run home run for Troy Gloss.
Chester Taylor's big day.
Here is my prediction. Vikings will run roughshod over the Raiders. They won't miss Adrian Peterson. Chester Taylor will run for 160 yards minimum and 3 TDs.
Touchdown! 3 rushing touchdowns for Chester Taylor today.
And the Vikings rout of the Giants.
You heard it here first. Vikings will beat the Giants. Vikings in a rout.
And it's a touchdown! 3 defensive touchdowns today for the Vikings, and the blowout is on.
It's time now on the Fan for another Nostra-Common psychic reading. And now, here he is, the seer with no fear, Nostra-Common.
Well, thank you very much. Does the music keep playing? Yeah, it's got to keep playing. Because I needed to get into the mood, okay? So here's what I do. So I rub my temples. It started years ago when I had a hangover, and I rubbed my temples, and voila, I made a prediction. So I'm going to start rubbing my temples, Sam. Here we go.
Oh.
Keep the music going.
That's on me. There we go.
Keep it going the whole time.
Okay.
I got to have it. I'm rubbing my temples. My eyes are closed. I'm seeing horses, which is good because I'm trying to predict the Kentucky Derby, right? And now I'm seeing a steeplechase. I must be on the wrong race. That's the wrong type of horse racing. Ah, here we go. We're back on it now. And now I'm seeing, looks like we're going back in time. Looks like we're going back to the time they were building the pyramids in Egypt. It looks like the mid-1800s. And it seems like people are quickly, hurriedly, they're rushing to the West Coast. They're headed, looks like, I can't tell, it looks like they're headed to California. Looks like they've loaded up the truck and they're moving to Beverly. I see Jed Clapp. No, that's not him. I'm starting to lose it, Sam. I'm starting to lose it. Hold on, keep going.
Okay, I got it. Hold on.
Keep going.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Oh, it looks like I see it seems like there's a bunch of old-timer type of guys, sort of like, and they weren't necessarily cowboys. Or no, there is one. It looks like he's got a guitar, and he's strumming it and singing. California. Head west, young man. Haven't you been told California's full of whiskey, women, and gold? Gold for some reason. Oh, well, sure. They're on the banks of a river, and there's all sorts of people gathered around. And it looks like they have frisbees. No, they're not frisbees. They look like they're frying. No, they're not frying pans either. They look like they're made. I think they're panning for gold is what they're doing, Sam. I think they're panning for gold. There's nuggets of gold there's gold in them thar hills, and now I've sort of lost it. If you have the list of horses there, is there any horse that would even resemble anything having to do with the 49ers and panning for gold or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm blown away, Common. We have a chunk of gold.
Chunk of gold! Nostra-Common strikes again. Chunk of gold. We'll win your Kentucky Derby.
All right, I'm going to book it.
I also was thinking of doing the Sandman, where you do the old, I'm getting very tired, I'm drifting off to sleep, so I was going to do that. And then I thought the other one, which would have been a really good one, how about this? There's a horse called journalism. So I was going to do something about, I see what looks like our printing presses, and there's somebody there with a 50-gallon barrel of ink. It's an ink-stained wretch, and then it would go to journalism. See? But that's not what I saw. That's not what came. What came back was another Nostra-Common. So it's a 30-1 horse. So I don't know. Do you gamble at all? Do you like to?
Oh, I love gambling.
Yeah. Find your nearest sports book. If you got to go to Diamond Joe's, wherever you have to go.
Crap stables.
And now I'm not going to tell you to put all of your money onto, because I have missed one time. It's not like I've gotten it every time. But I'd put your money on Chunk o' Gold. Chunk o' Gold is who I would bet on. So there you go. How much time do I have to get out?
We still got about a minute and a half.
Minute and a half?
Yeah.
You got anything? Anything you want to say? I mean, again, thanks for filling in. I know this couldn't have been your first choice. Right? Friday, you'd already worked this morning. You've been up since 4. This is probably not what you really wanted to do, right?
Oh, no, this is exactly what I want to do.
What's your hobby?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a last minute thing where Abbott asked me to come in and help out. So, I don't mind.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is this a top 5 moment in your life? I mean, producing the Common Man program, it's got to be a big deal, isn't it?
I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. How about your friend? Are your friends going to be just in awe of you? Or are they going, no, you got to actually be on the air with Common?
Right. They'll probably ask me all about you. How was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, this has been a lot of fun. It really does.
I'm easy to work for, all right? I'm not too demanding, am I? Just play, do this silly Nostra-Communist thing and read me 5 questions and just follow along. It worked out pretty well.
Right. So, yeah, no, there's some of that for sure. Let's see here.
I'm very happy. You can make that bet at Canterbury.
Oh, you can make that bet?
Yeah, you can make horse racing bets at Canterbury. I knew that.
Okay.
Why don't you just head right over to Canterbury? Don't put any money down for me because I don't think he's going to win. That's what I saw. I can't help it. It's Nostra-Common. You rub your temples and there it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, it's a good bet. I like it.
Well, thanks. Hey, and I'm going to say thanks for having me, and you're going to say...
Hey, great job. Right?
How did you know that?
Nostra-Salmonis?
Nostra-Salmonis. It was a lot of fun. I hope you fill in again sometime very soon.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, best of luck to you in your future endeavors. We really enjoyed our visit with you today. 10 and B should be back, I think, on Tuesday. Mark Rosen on Tuesday as well. That's it for us. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you live tomorrow from T to Green, on T to Green, live from Grandview Lodge. Stick around. Big Ticket and JG. They're next here on The Fan.
Good night, folks, and good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Some matches are temporary, but your privacy shouldn't be. With Line 2, you get a second phone line just for dating. No need to share your personal number until you're ready. You can chat, text, and even block numbers, all while keeping things fun and private. It's perfect for online dating, blind dates, or just keeping things light. When you're ready to move on, Line 2 lets you cut ties without any drama. Dating should be fun and carefree. Line 2 keeps it that way. Ready to date on your terms? Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store today.